o'clock. This is the first post-game victory show of the 2025 season. The Baltimore Ravens beat the Cleveland Browns 41-17 on the 30th anniversary of their home opener as the Baltimore Ravens. Daniel Wilcox, Matt Trigger, and this is a great victory. We got a little bit of a trash talk on Friday night.
Yeah, we did.
And here we are. 41-17. We just talked about it before we went on air. I was 1 point off of being the correct score. Wilcox with the new sideline hoodie as a little way to celebrate. It's a very nice day. The Ravens went out there and showed out. Lamar Jackson had 4 touchdown passes to go along with over 200 yards passing. Derrick Henry didn't have himself that great of a day. They sold out to stop the run, but could not stop anything else. DeAndre Hopkins had a touchdown. Tez Walker had 2 catches for 2 touchdowns. And Tylan Wallace had the first touchdown pass of the game from Lamar Jackson. The defense played a hell of a lot better. Jair Alexander was a healthy scratch this week. So we saw a lot more TJ Tampa and Nate Wiggins. Wiggins had an interception that he almost took to the house. Roquan Smith took a fumble to the house after a Tavius Robinson sack fumble on Joe Flacco. And this is a great day. We always drop one to the Cleveland, man, and I'm just so happy that we didn't do that this time.
Man, same here, man. D-Hop actually had 2 touchdowns today. He had the scramble drill with Lamar. Lamar threw the ball deep. He caught that one, and then he had another one late in the game that almost looked identical as the first one. It's crazy.
Yeah, but they called him down to 1 on the first catch.
Did they really?
Yeah, he was called down to 1.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
That was a touchdown too.
It would look like a touchdown, but they called him down to 1. They said his knee was down at the 1 yard line.
Yeah, well, they take it from him because it looked like a touchdown to me.
Right.
Yeah, but you're right, man. It was a phenomenal day of football for the Ravens. I love seeing D-Hop get active like that. I love seeing Walker get active. Tylan Wallace, I love him to death. I love seeing him get active the way he did. It was a phenomenal day. I saw the play that Tylan scored on, and it was a short motion inside, and he came right inside of Kolar. It's kind of like a little pick play where he kind of goes right inside the tight end, between the tight end and the tackle, gets lost. The DB loses him a little bit, and that was just enough for Tylan to get a step on him. Lamar put through the perfect ball, kind of that little jump pass he throws when he kind of throws the 3-point sign up. He kind of gave him that kind of throw, and it was an easy touchdown for Tylan, man. I'm happy to see that happen. Love to see Walker getting 2 touchdowns. He's a draft pick from last season. And him showing up big in this game, I thought was huge. Seeing D-Hop have the game that he had, I think that will put fear in a lot of people's eyes. That's another weapon that people now have to account for by the Baltimore Ravens. Great job overall by the Ravens. But I know early in the game, Matt, I think I text you, man, and you was talking about 77 was having a bad day. So, I mean, what did our boy do? I didn't get a chance to see the game, guys. I just had to see the highlights. So, I didn't get a chance to see the Falele, falafeling around and stuff like that. So this is Matt's show as far as talking about Falele.
First of all, Myles Garrett is just a total disruptor. So he lined up over Falele a couple times early on. They had him lined up. They lined him up over the 3.
That's horrible.
On the inside, which was bad news. And I'll give props where it's due. The rookie defensive tackle for the Browns, number 94, Mason Graham. He was a top 10 draft pick this past April. Yeah, he was bullying Falele and Voorhees throughout the course of the game. They went all out to stop the run. They focused on Derrick Henry. Henry had under 30 yards rushing. He averaged under 3 yards a carry. He never really got going. But Lamar, the uptick in the passing just completely surpassed anything that he was trying to do on the ground. So and then the defensive touchdown kind of sealed the deal. Tyler Loop was perfect on field goals today and on extra points. He had 2 penalties though on kickoffs, Daniel, where he didn't get the ball inside the drop zone and then he kicked it out of bounds one time. So there was 2 penalties on that part, but I enjoyed watching Lamar pick them apart. Falele needs to honestly tighten up. he gets pushed around by guys that are a lot smaller than him, and it's a every week thing. It was all 3 games during the preseason where we've been talking about this, and then he got beat like a drum last week against the Bills, and now we're talking about him yet again. Lamar's going to get hurt back there. Lamar took a lot of sacks today. I think they sacked him 3 or 4 times. I think 2 of them were Myles Garrett. So they got to tighten up because they got Detroit coming to town on Monday night, and Detroit just put up 50 on the Chicago Bears today.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a tough battle right there. And I know they remember the 2023 season where we kicked them right in the teeth and put up almost 50 on them at home. So I know that they're going to remember this. Falele is that's just an unfortunate. He's the only weak link from today's game. The interesting fact about the defense: Teddy Buchanan started over Trenton Simpson today. Teddy Buchanan took until the game was well out of hand. Trenton Simpson was playing special teams. He didn't come in except for certain packages, but Simpson wasn't on the field consistently until the 4th quarter when we were up by 3 touchdowns at that point. So Teddy Buchanan played his ass off today too. Roquan Smith was flying around to the ball. He didn't look like slow Roquan. He was out there hitting. Kyle Hamilton is like an absolute stud. The dude was breaking up screen passes, bubble screens, anything near the line of scrimmage. That dude's a heat-seeking missile. Malachi Starks had a good day today. Nate Wiggins made up for last week with the interception of Joe Flacco on the sideline. He read that perfectly, Daniel. I don't know if you saw the replay. He read that perfectly, and you can't get much better than that. He locked down Judy all day. He was on Judy for most of the game.
Somebody needed to, because all that shit he was talking. Somebody needed to lock him down.
I think Judy if I'm not mistaken, Judy was rather ineffective.
I'll tell you right now.
I know he hadn't.
Yeah, 4 catches, 51 yards, 12.8 yard average.
Right.
Longest was 26.
Yeah, and that was on Awuzie. That wasn't even on Wiggins.
Right.
Awuzie gave that up in deep 4 coverage like you were talking about last week where they played quarters.
Got you.
But
I saw the pick by Nate Wiggins. That was a great job of sending pressure. Way to go, Baltimore. Send a little bit of pressure. He sent Raekwon Smith up the middle. He chased Flacco out of the pocket. Flacco was running for his life, tried to throw it away on the sideline. Nate jumped in right in front of the tight end from Cleveland and picked it off and almost returned it for a touchdown. If it went for the old lineman, number 75, boy, he had some hustle.
He would have he had some hustle.
Yeah,
he would take it to the house, but
it would have been a crib shot.
Joe Flacco's whole family was on the stands today.
Yeah.
His entire family. All 17 kids.
Matt, what are you eating?
A snack, I'm sorry.
I'm like, what are you doing right now? Like, what are you eating, man? Your mouth sounds so freaking juicy, dog. Like,
no
diddy. You know what? I'm like, man, bro, what you doing? Like, Matt.
It was stuck in my teeth, man. Anyway.
Bro, you can't have snacks on a live show, dog.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Like, yeah, dog, we won. No, man, it was a great day though, man. Everything that I got a chance to see on the highlights part of it, I'm gonna mess around. I have to just go ahead and purchase the NFL ticket. But everything I saw on the, I know, right? Pause, Rico. But everything I saw from the highlight standpoint of the game, we were solid. I'm talking about 100% solid. We showed up on offense. We showed up on defense. We showed up on special teams. LaJohntay Wester got a big return today.
Yes, he did.
Love seeing him get off. You know, anytime I see somebody rocking that 83 jersey looking good, you know, I love it. Way to go, LaJohntay. Keep working, kid.
If he would have housed that kick, you would have been going crazy on this show.
Yeah, man. Every time I see that kid get off, it just makes me want to go see another game. You know, it made me want to get to another Ravens game. So I love seeing him, you know, do well and play good. He's one of Deion's proteges from Colorado, and we got a chance to draft him. I thought he was a steal in the draft, and I love the fact that he's already starting to make some plays. what happens, Matt, is you see guys start to make plays on special teams like that as a rookie. By their sophomore season, they usually start to input them into the offense. So I wouldn't doubt if you don't see him get kind of injected or inserted into the offense this year because he's playing so well on special teams. If he continues to do wonderful things with the ball in his hand throughout this season, you will see him later on in the season on offense.
I mean, that's a tall order. I mean, all 5 of our wide receivers right now are producing. Tylan Wallace caught a touchdown today, and then you got Tez Walker caught 2. Bateman's out there making plays. Zay looks like a number 1 wide receiver, like a bona fide number 1.
Correct.
I like that this year when he catches the ball, he gets upfield now.
I like that too.
He's straight north and south. When he catches those little pop passes or the screens, he is up the field. He's not doing any more dancing. He just tucks the ball high and he gets upfield. I like what I'm seeing out of him because he's gonna cost a lot of money in a year or two. He's gonna cost a lot of money.
He is, man. 7 catches, 75 yards, 10.7 yard average, longest 19 today. Great job by Zay Flowers. Way to lead the way.
Yeah. The play calling wasn't necessarily a bad thing. We just kind of abandoned the run early. But Lamar once Lamar kind of settled down, because he was a little bit inefficient in the first quarter. But once he settled down and he started picking them apart, I'm gonna give props to Derrick Henry today. His pass blocking was impeccable. He was putting linebackers and edge rushers on their ass all game, and he's chop blocking. He's chipping them, and he's doing his part. If he's not going to contribute, if they're going all out to stop him on the run, he was helping in the passing game by just being present. And it was nice to see. Andrews was making some plays. He dropped a touchdown pass. Actually, he didn't drop it. Grant Delpit made a pretty good play in the back of the end zone. He caught the ball 2 feet down in the end zone, and then he turned, and they considered that a football move, and Delpit knocked it out. But Harbaugh was going to challenge it as a touchdown, but he ended up keeping the red flag in his pocket. Yeah. I do want to ask you about this though, because it's starting to get a little worrisome that Keaton Mitchell was another healthy scratch.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not bothered by that. I mean, who do you sit down? Like we're so talented and we're so stacked, but Ali is playing more special teams than he is right now, though. So that's what kills you.
But Ali also got hurt on the first play from scrimmage today.
Yeah, but you can't count on that though. Yeah, nobody knows he's going to get hurt first play from scrimmage. But if you got a guy that's playing. Okay, let's say you got there's punt return, there's kickoff return, there's field goal block. Those are 6 other different sides of the ball that you got to worry about. If you got a guy playing at least 5 of those, and he can run the ball as running back or tight end or receiver or whatever, you got to address that guy. So Keaton would have to do more on special teams, man, if you want to get those reps right now.
Yeah.
I said the same thing, Larico.
Yeah, he's talking about being in the show.
Yep. He's talking about Hopkins and those 2 touchdowns. I thought he had 2. I didn't even realize he only got 1. Matt told me that he downed him on the 1. Go ahead, Matt.
But I want to kind of build off of what you said earlier in the show, especially with this comment now.
Yeah.
DeAndre Hopkins as your number 3 receiver, that is looking like it's going to be a problem for a lot of teams this year, because he's getting guarded by dime backs and safeties, and he's eating them up. I don't think he's dropped the ball yet.
Yeah, he don't usually drop many.
He's almost automatic when you throw the ball to him.
Yeah.
No matter how much he had less than on his touchdown catch, he had less than a yard of separation on the grab. The guy had his arm draped over him, and he still caught the ball for a touchdown. I was ecstatic about it, because the dude's going to be a major factor for us this year. As long as they keep throwing him the ball in key moments, he's going to come up big.
I agree.
And, he should have 3 touchdowns, but he's got 2. So 2 touchdowns the first 2 weeks. Tez Walker has 3 NFL catches, and all 3 of them are touchdowns.
I know, that's crazy.
That's insane. I wanted to ask you because we talked about this a little bit on Friday night, and you asked Joel and you asked Keith about Shador Sanders, and
Yeah.
Joe Flacco got benched halfway through the fourth quarter today.
Did he
And
get benched or he got beat up and they just took him out?
um,
Because
either way,
he got thrashed.
yeah, he was getting hit a lot.
I told you it was going to be a bad day.
Matabike and Owe hit him a
Quite
lot.
regular. Yeah.
So they brought in Dylan Gabriel, who ended up throwing a garbage time touchdown pass with like 3 minutes left in the game.
Yeah.
I thought that would have been a prime situation for Shador to get in there when you're down almost 30.
I mean, they wouldn't do it though, Matt, because Shador is not he's the third screen. So if you put him in before the second screen, it's a problem. You know, people will start thinking what we already think, that he's better than Dylan Gabriel, and it causes all type of ruckus. It's been a circus over in Cleveland, man, this entire offseason with this whole quarterback thing. And I kind of knew it was going to be like that, but I thought they would have handled it differently and handled it better. But you don't know what's real or what's fake coming out when
Right.
anything about the Cleveland Browns quarterbacks. You don't know what's real and what's fake. Then you go get Snoop. It was so much stuff going on, man. Like I don't know what's going on in that organization, but that organization has always been upside down, never been right. I've never seen them do things regularly. I remember when I was playing here in Baltimore, they had a staph infection breakout, and a bunch of guys got sick and had to go into the hospital and because of staph infections. And it was just that basically just saying the place is that dirty. You know, I don't know what was going. It was a brand new stadium. I'm like, man, the stadium's not that old. Like, I don't even understand like why you would have players in a situation where they would come out of there with staph infections. You know, so it's weird. But they've never done things to me the right way. You know, how they drafted Shador. First, he was supposed to be in top 2, top 3 picks. End up going 144th in the 5th round. Then you drafted Dylan Gabriel before him in the 3rd round. So it doesn't even make sense. Like, when you look at the stats from Dylan Gabriel and the stats for Shador Sanders, they're not comparable in college. You know,
and that's interesting. And I wanted to kind of bring up the report that came out today that I sent you. Adam Schefter from ESPN reported that the Ravens were going to take Shador at 141 in the 5th round.
Mm-hmm.
And he requested to not go there because he knew he wasn't going to see the field because of Lamar Jackson. Now, I can understand that he wanted to go somewhere where he has a better chance to play. But if you can sit behind Lamar for a year or two and then we can trade you and get some draft capital, I think that would have been a better situation for him here than what he's in a circus, like you just said.
Yeah, it's a circus.
They don't take care of their people. They don't take care of their players. They don't want to pay anybody. They don't want to put any talent. Like, look at the wide receivers from the Cleveland Browns today. I know Cedric Tillman caught that tip ball from Marlon Humphrey in the end zone, but other than Jerry Jeudy, they got a bunch of nobodies.
Right.
And that's terrible to experience.
I don't know. I think it's hard for me to agree with that, Matt, because of the fact that all these guys are in the NFL, right? So if they're in the NFL, most of these guys are already All-American, All-Conference, All-County, All-State, all everything. You know, so even the nobodies are superstars waiting to hatch. I mean, look at our nobodies. Our nobody would be considered who? Des Walker, Tylen Wallace. I love those guys. You know, now Wester, right? You know, so it's like if you look at all three who you would consider nobodies, I mean, they all dogs.
They are.
So yeah. So when I look at other teams and you see guys that you really don't know, it's because they haven't got a chance to really show the world what they're capable of. And a lot of times it's a mental thing in this game. Like, guys will have so much freaking talent, and then mentally they're just not where they should be because they're not being motivated the right way. The coaches are not coaching them the right way, or the offense doesn't fit what they do best, and they're not being put in positions to be that guy. But if you put most of these guys in position to be that guy, I think you'll see a different side of those guys, and especially if you treated them differently, because it's a mental thing. That's Cleveland's problem. They kill the momentum and the mental mindsets of almost every single quarterback they've had in the last 10 years. Like, I mean, the Baker Mayfield situation, the Johnny Manziel situation. Now you got Shador Sanders, the Dylan Gabriel situation. They probably building Dylan Gabriel up to make him play at least half decent because everybody's been saying Shador is better than him.
And people are forgetting Deshaun Watson's going to be back next month.
Yeah, Deshaun Watson too. He's a guy that came to them in a tough situation, But if he got the right supporting cast around him, man, I've seen that dude play live in person. He's a phenomenal athlete, phenomenal quarterback, sharp, smart, the whole 9 yards. Didn't he win a national title in Clemson?
I believe so.
Yeah, I mean, and then he did really well in Houston, man, until all this allegation stuff went down. He was the guy. People thought Houston was going to a Super Bowl with Deshaun. He get to Cleveland, and all of a sudden he hasn't did anything. He had one good game, and it was against us.
Yep, that 14 for 14.
Yeah,
that was in the first half or the second half.
And he got hurt. I think he got hurt that game. That's the game he got hurt. He ain't been back since.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what you get. Don't come against us and try to play your best game. That's why you hurt right now. And he from Atlanta.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just glad that the Ravens finally got that first win of the season, because we got a tough week 3 matchup with Detroit on Monday Night Football. Like we said earlier, it's gonna be a heavyweight fight, man. That's gonna they just put up 50 on
they did 52.
On Chicago, 52 on Chicago, and we've put up 40 plus the last 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks in a row, and I'm surprised how we did it. Like, we did it completely different the first 2 weeks of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Derrick Henry led the way against Buffalo, and then
Lamar led the way today.
Lamar led the way today with his arm, and I'm not one to compliment Josh Allen on anything on this show, because I am a hater. I'm a bona fide hater of Josh Allen, but
yeah,
he pulled a Ben Roethlisberger today, and somebody broke his nose mid-game. They reset it. He went right back in and beat the shit out of the New York Jets. Kind of, before the show ends, I know these recaps aren't always the long shows. Joe Burrow got hurt today, and they still won the game. Jake Browning led a game-winning drive and dove into the end zone over the pile.
Matt, don't eat that snack. I hear you over there, right?
No, I know. I was cleaning up my trash.
Okay, don't eat that snack. No more snacks, Matt.
I was cleaning up my trash, and my wife didn't yell at me.
Okay.
But yeah,
I saw Burrow went out.
Yeah, he hurt his toe, and then the Steelers got absolutely. They got their asses whooped.
Who does the Steelers play again? The Seahawks?
The Seattle Seahawks. I think they lost by 2 touchdowns.
Wow.
Yeah. It was
just when I said the Steelers are going to be a problem, they go and lose against the Seahawks.
Yeah, I'm almost.
They still going to be a problem to watch.
Yeah, they still might be, but that's I can't say I'm too sad about it.
I mean, I love the fact that they lost. Hey, we already got one loss too, so I need that every time they get a chance to lose. I want them to lose.
They lost at home, 31-17.
They lost at home,
31-17. Mike McDonald held them to 17 points today.
Big Mike, that's right. I forgot Mike is in Seattle. He's the head coach now. Yeah, I mean that totally makes sense now. That's almost like a what do you call it? That's basically like an AFC North matchup.
Yeah.
Mike already know what's up.
Mike already knew what was going on.
He knows they're good. He knows their strengths and their weaknesses. So that makes sense for Seattle to beat them. So I won't worry about that game too tough.
And Cooper Kupp had himself a day. 7 catches, 90 yards. He's back to his former self. I'm happy that we got this out of the way. We got to get through this next month, man. We got Detroit. We got the Chargers. We have the Chiefs. I think we got the Rams coming up.
Yeah.
It's gonna be it's a lot of heavyweight fights, man. This is gonna be a gauntlet for sure. And then we got the bye week early in week 7 this year. I know you said you didn't catch the whole thing, but what was your standout moment? Because I know we took like the offensive and defensive players of the game. What do you think is the most important part of the win today?
The most important part of the win, for me, I think the defense. Just having the defense show up the way they did after not showing up at all week 1. Having them show up and keep these guys under 17 points, under 21 points. That we always say if we keep the other team under 21, it should be a Ravens win each time. So it was great to kind of see them kind of get back to form and make some plays. I love seeing Roquan Smith pick up the fumble and score. Our defense needs to score as many times as possible. This defense has always been one of those defenses that rack up scores all year long. I love seeing Nate Wiggins get the pick, almost take it to the house. And just the mindset that he had in his mind that it needed to go to the crib, to me, was the most important part of that pick. He didn't hesitate to try to turn that thing into 6 points on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
One of the things that was always impressive to me is how our defense practiced. They always practice turnovers no matter what. Even if we're running back with the ball, they're trying to punch the ball out of our hands after the play's over. And then every time they got a pick, every single player on defense instantly flip their hips around and turn into a blocker for the guy that got the ball. And to me, that was big. That might have been the only thing that was missing in that pick with Nate Wiggins was that everybody didn't turn into a blocker right away. But seeing the defense keep those guys under 21 points made me feel really, really warm inside and made me feel good about the entire situation moving forward, because I really thought we would show up much better than what we did week one. And once we got up into the 30s and the 40 points, I thought this game was well over with against Buffalo in week one. And then all of a sudden, Buffalo scores 41 points on the defense that I feel like arguably could be the number one or number two defense in the entire league this year. So that was, to me, that's what it was for me. How about you, Matt?
The biggest thing to me was that, like I said it a couple minutes ago, I can agree with you that the defense showed up today, which they did, and they played the way they should against a lesser team. But seeing this team score points and score in volume in a multitude of different ways on the defensive side of the ball, but knowing Lamar Jackson only threw for 2 touchdown passes last week, but still ran for 70 and a touchdown as well. This week, he barely runs the ball at all, throws for almost 250, and has 4 touchdowns to 3 different guys. Yeah. So to me, the fact that he can make anybody into a weapon at this point, because now you got to worry about Zay, you got to worry about Bateman as your number 1 and number 2, and now teams got a game plan for Tez Walker and DeAndre Hopkins when they step on the field. And this is coming from a fact that a tight end hasn't caught a touchdown yet this year.
Right.
And then you got Isaiah likely coming back next week. I like the fact that Lamar doesn't care who it is on the other side of that catch as long as they get open.
That's a real quarterback. That's what real quarterbacks do.
Yeah, and he's like he said in the preseason, he's just getting started. He's 28 years old. If he's just getting started, this might be the best quarterback that ever plays in the NFL by the time it's all said and done. If he believes that, if we all believe that he can do what he says he's going to do. But I wanted to kind of talk about something off the field. Today they celebrated the 30th anniversary of the Ravens coming to town. Yeah. They gave out flags to all the fans that showed up, and they had Ozzie Newsome as the icon of the game, the legend of the game. He came out.
Ozzie.
And then Ray and J.O. came out holding our 2 Super Bowl trophies as kind of like an extra dig. I'm glad. I'm actually going to download. Actually, I haven't downloaded already, but I'm going to listen to the Cleveland Browns sports radio tomorrow on the way to work just to make myself even happier, so I can hear them bitch about how they got their asses whooped.
And those 2 trophies were supposed to be theirs.
Those 2 trophies are sitting on a mantle at Owings Mills and not in bumfuck Cleveland. I'm a little worried about one thing. The only thing that I was really worried about is Kyle Van Noy got hurt and he missed 2.5 quarters of the game. And then it just got announced 25 minutes before we went on air that Jadeveon Clowney is a Dallas Cowboy. So, yeah. So he's essentially replacing Micah in Dallas for the year. So now our options are severely limited. Judon's in Miami. Za'Darius is in Philly. Clowney's now, a Cowboy. So we're going to have to figure out something, because if Kyle Van Noy misses any amount of time, Mike Green and Owe are our starters.
Yeah.
And Mike Green had some pressure today. He was matched up against their tackle Jones, who's 6'8" and 375. And he was making that dude bend. To try and get him. he was trying every move he possibly could, and I liked seeing Green out there. He was good in the run game today. Other than that, and the fact that Jair was a healthy scratch,
Yeah.
He's got to get it together. I know he hasn't practiced a whole lot, but you got Detroit coming here on Monday, so they got pass catchers galore. So we're going to need Jair to be ready, even though TJ Tampa looked good.
Yeah. That's good. I've been waiting to see TJ Tampa. He's a longer corner, long arms, runs well, bends well, change of direction is crazy. And he's a physical guy. I've been waiting on him to kind of get active since we got him drafted last year. So that's good. He's getting a chance to get some reps right now. I hope he continues to play well and put pressure on Jair, because Jair deserves it. He deserves to be pressured into playing his best. And hopefully he understands, that this team is for real, man. This team ain't a joke. I know we had some guys. You were talking about Trenton Simpson earlier. I watched some of the film that was posted online last week after the game. And we had guys, man, at the end of that game just out of position, just not playing where they were supposed to be. One of them was definitely Trenton Simpson. So it makes sense for him not to be playing right now. I mean, you make mistakes the way we made against a game like that. He should have been underneath some of those routes that was caught over, those crossing routes that was caught by the Bill receivers late in the game. So you leaving the DBs and the corners. It looked like it's Jair Alexander's fault, and he was supposed to have help underneath. And then they throw the ball underneath, and the guy catches it, on the run, and Jair's over the top, and we're like, man, he getting beat again. Like, it feels like he's out of position to the, to the regular eye, the coming eye, But actuality, it should have been a linebacker or something underneath that throw, so he would have had to throw it higher if he was going to get it in, or not throw it at all, because somebody was in the lane that the quarterback was actually throwing the ball through. And it just, it's things like that, with Jair, with Simpson, those things we got to get rectified and get fixed. And get this defense back on track to be the way that it's supposed to be. But you got to also help Green and Owe and those guys out, by running stunts and then coming up with creative ways to get an extra guy rushing the passer or overloading the side or something, to do something to mix these guys up and get them freer. You need some free release stuff too to happen. It was just like in preseason. It was one play, I think it might have been Owe, where he came and hit the quarterback, and he had a clean, just a clean rush to the quarterback.
Broke Anthony Richardson's pinky.
Correct. That game. That's it. That's what I'm talking about.
The first play on defense, the Cleveland Browns totally forgot to block Kyle Van Noy. He almost took Flacco's head off.
Yeah.
Flacco, obviously you played with him. That dude can get rid of the ball quick, and he got it out of there in about I think the TV said 1.8 or 1.9 seconds. He got it out. Right. So he took the hit, but he got the ball out. So hopefully, I like the game. Like I said earlier, Tavius Robinson had a hell of a game. He had the sack fumble, knocking the ball out of Flacco's hands right as Flacco's knee was about this close to hitting the ground before that ball came out. So I was happy to see that happen. Yeah, but too. we definitely got our swagger back this week. We did what we were supposed to do against a bad team. And we didn't play down to the competition. Lamar's out there making crazy throws. He got a little beat up this week, so I really hope they clean up on protecting him. Hopefully Pat Ricard's back this coming Monday. Hopefully Isaiah Likely's back this coming Monday. And that way we can kind of do more to protect our guy. So
we need to get some offensive linemen, sound like to me. We need to figure out what's going on with Voorhees?
Yeah, Voorhees. I mean, I didn't hear his name a whole lot, and I was kind of looking out for the offensive line.
Yeah,
it was the right side of the line. I mean, Rosengarten and Falele had bad games, but I mean, Myles Garrett was just. I mean, Myles Garrett made Ronnie Stanley look crazy on one play. He did a deep, like a wide 9 stance. He was way out. I'm talking like he looked like he was almost on the seam, and he had Ronnie Stanley reaching, and he took his left forearm and just smacked both of Stanley's arms down, and Stanley fell on his face, and he got to Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
There's no Myles Garrett on the Detroit Lions, thankfully. Aiden Hutchinson's a problem, but he's not a Myles Garrett problem.
Right.
So they got good defensive tackles. So hopefully we can. It's a Monday Night Football, bright lights. A national game. I'm hoping that we, will do well with that. But we will preview that later on this week. Yeah, but that should do it for the show, man. That was it was a sound victory. We dominated them in every facet of the game. Oh, shout out to Jake Hummel, blocking a punt with one hand because he's playing with the club on his left hand right now,
and he was getting tackled.
He was getting tackled. And then he hurt the punter too, which is crazy.
Yeah, we'll take that.
Yeah, we'll take that all day long. But the punter came back in because they needed him all day long. But yeah, the special teams units all played well. Yeah, but that's a wrap, man. Wilcox, let everybody know where they can find you on social media until we see everybody again.
It's right there at the bottom of the screen, guys, at Coach Wilcox on X and at Daniel.Wilcox on IG. Please like, follow, and subscribe on the We Bleed Purple podcast. We'd love to have you guys as constant members, and we love the questions, man. Keep the questions coming throughout. We'll get better at answering those things throughout this season, because those questions they mean a lot to us, and it's good to be able to hear from the fans and be able to hear you guys' side of the story too as well.
Absolutely. And you can find me on mtrigwbp on Twitter and on Instagram, mtrig89. We're very interactive with our fans. We'll see you guys later on this week as we preview the Monday Night Football showdown with the Detroit Lions. And that is a wrap, Ravens Nation.
Bird gang.